Hello, hello, hello. How are we? Yeah, so I snuck into the bedroom to do this little video, get away from the kids. Just like a little video, really. I get this question asked like a lot, like a lot. So I'm gonna do this little video just to explain, in my opinion, what an Uber driver makes in 2024. Yes, it is very quiet at the moment. Yes, it is the wrong time of year. It's very quiet. Should start picking up March onwards, going into April, but it is very, very quiet. But also, we're in a bit of a credit crisis, money problem. Everyone's skint and everyone's opting for the cheaper options. But generally, guys, right, every scenario is different. And it doesn't matter really what scenario you're in, you still all end up in and around similar money. So put into perspective, I've been speaking to a lot of the lads lately and asking them their situation and how much they're profiting about per hour. Now, if you think about it, you can earn a lot of money on the taxis, aka Uber, but there's a lot of expenses. And a lot of drivers don't actually look at their expenses. They see $1,000 a week and go, oh my God, grand a week, never earned that in my life. But wondering why they're always skint. And it's because of the expenses. You don't realise how bad they are. Now, there's a few things I want to point out really first before I get into it. Is there's a minimum work hours on Uber. You can't go and do 20 hours a week, in my opinion. You just can't. Because the first 20, 30 hours of the week is paying for your front-loaded expenses. Now, you could say, oh, well, I own a car, so I've got no expenses. But you still have, because your car's depreciating every day you use it. And then when that car's gone, what are you going to do? You're just going to go out and buy a new car cash, $3,000. It's that $3,000 is spread over those 20 hours, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Nothing's free. It's not like people got the mentality, I own a car. I own a car, so I've got no expenses, just fuel. Do you know what I mean? So I do $2,000 and I do 200 quid, 1,800 quid. It's not like that. Do you know what I mean? You've got to sit down and proper look at it, like analytically. I love doing that. That's what I do. And I do it really to just so I know where I'm at and where I'm standing. So if I see a job come up and it's a private airport job, I need to know how much that's gonna cost me to do to be able to price it as well. Do you know what I mean? So going back to literally how much an Uber driver earns in 2024, right? So dependent, there's a few things we can price it up as. You can either own your car, you can settle a car, which means like renting it, or you can be in a big minibus or a fancy car to do the exact work. But normally, if you just buy an old diesel Mondeo, super cheap, or you settle one, yeah, you got your settle costs, but then you got your high diesel costs, your DPFs, or your running issues, right? So then the other option is you can go and buy or rent an electric car. They're very expensive to buy, but super cheap to run, especially with your home charging. Or you can go and get something a bit extra, maybe like a V-Class or a minibus. So you can do more work in the V-Class and the minibus, but it brings in more expenses and more diesel and more higher insurances and etc. etc. But generally, overall, ballparking it, people go, how much do you earn on Uber? I would say, on average, you gotta work at least 45, 50 hours a week to make it viable. Anything less, I reckon you're just covering expenses. This is full-time Uber drivers, by the way, guys. I'm not talking about people who pop on a Saturday night. Do you know what I mean? There's not much, you can't really, this is full-time, guys, yeah? So if you're a full-time Uber driver, you got to do at least 45, 50 hours a week. I'd say bare minimum. And then, depending on your situation, after expenses, I reckon it's a minimum wage job. Doesn't matter how you look at it. Doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you're settling, if you're financing, if you're buying outright. Do you know what I mean? Because normally if you spend more money in the car, normally you got less running costs, but it costs more to buy. Do you know what I mean? It's all relative. Do you know, in my opinion, it's all relative. And generally, I'd say you'd earn in between £10 and £12 an hour after your expenses. And but the good news is, I don't want to be a negative Nelly on this, is expenses isn't obviously, well, to be honest, I've actually worked that 1 week. I averaged like £9 an hour, which is less than minimum wage. But you got to remember, guys, then the car's technically paid for within that. Where if you were, say, working in a minimum wage job now, you'd have a car, wouldn't you? You'd have an insurance, you'd have fuel and everything else. Where with the taxis, that's within the profit. If you get me, it's took away with the expenses. So as an example, if I work next week and I end up on £9 an hour, yeah, but I've got Tesla Model S, sat there, which is paid within that. Do you know what I mean? It isn't like I'm working for the minimum wage job and then go and pay for the Tesla. That Tesla's come off all that. Do you know what I mean? So that's one way you can look at it. A bit more of a positive spin. And obviously you've got the running costs, which obviously makes it around the minimum wage. But you get to keep the car. But another positive of working Uber is the flexibility. Now, yeah, people say there's not much flexibility when you're working all the hours under the sun. It's situational, innit? If you need a set amount of money each week to pay for your car, to pay for your house, to pay for the wife, or she's off work with the kids or whatever, then it starts getting really, really hard. I know full-time Uber drivers with a single household income, and they just can't make it. They do 75 hours a week. They just can't do it. There's not enough money out there. I think it's dramatically changed since COVID, and I'd say, yeah. I'd say if someone put me gun to my head now and said, listen, how much does an Uber driver make after expenses? I would say between £9 and £11 per hour. But the car is included with that. And obviously you are flexible. So I'm flexible as in like, yeah, I work a lot. I work 7 days a week. But like if my kid phones me up and goes, oh, whatever, I need to come home from school, I can drop everything and go and get them. That type of flexibility. Do you know what I mean? You can do the school runs, take your kids to school, off for sports days, stuff like that. So the flexibility on that side of it's good. But yeah, I would definitely say anyone asks me or you or anyone else asks you, it's a minimum wage job after expenses, 100%. The problem you've got, right, and why people are jumping on the taxis, and then I know a lot of people are jumping off them now as well, is because I don't know why. I don't know if it's adverts of like have you seen the taxi tests? Oh, we are desperate for taxi drivers in Liverpool, and you're like, we're not. There's one in every street corner. Do you know what I mean? But they just want to get the money in to get the licenses or the training done, or to get the income from it. Do you know what I mean? And also as well, over drivers. I've talked to Uber drivers as a passenger, and they didn't know I was a driver. How's Uber, mate? Oh, work when I want, 1,500 quid a week. Yeah, 1,500 quid a week. Amazing. And I go, whoa, wow, that bloody hell, that's that. How many hours? She's like 60, 65. You know what I mean? Sometimes 70, 10 days, 7 days a week, 1,500 quid. Easy money, brilliant. I'm like, whoa. And I'm, what about expenses and that? And like, yeah, a bit of diesel. Yeah, a bit of diesel. Yeah, MOT and that. Yeah, it's not 1,500 quid a week, though, mate. Do you know what I mean? I was working blah blah on 600 quid after tax and national insurance employed. And I'm like, you probably get more money then. Do you know what I mean? And work less. But yeah, people need to start getting in the mindset of just trying to figure out how much they're spending and how much their income is. And then at least then just telling people the truth. Because I had a fella comment the other day and he went, I'm gutted. He went, blah, blah, told me how great Uber is. So then he went out and financed up on a car, 15 grand. Financed up on a car. Went through all the rigmarole of getting his badge. Took him 6 months. Cost him money, time and effort. And literally after about a month on the taxis, he's just like, it's terrible. He doesn't like the job. And also he's just not making anywhere near as much as he was in a normal employment job. But now he's committed with the finance on a car that he didn't need on a personal level. So yeah, I just try and make awareness and share my. I don't do these videos to try and put people off. I don't do these videos to try and promote the taxis. I literally just share my experiences and what I deal with day to day or what it's like. Give the pros and cons, and then it's your choice to decide to try it or to not. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, just going forward, guys. If anyone's ever wondered how much an Uber driver earns in 2024, now by the way, it might be different to different areas. Obviously, London would be different, but London's got more expenses, so they should be on more money. But like different areas in the UK might be in different money. I'm on generally Liverpool, Northwest. I think Manchester's similar to Liverpool, and then surrounding areas. I'd say yeah, I would say minimum wage after your expenses, or maybe a little bit less. But you got your card out as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what you got to look at it. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little informational video. Make sure you obviously check me out on TikTok and subscribe to the channel as well. That'd be much appreciated. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of this video. And do you know your true income and expenses or your per hour rate? That's what I say in my videos, you see. So if I hit 16, 17 pound an hour on Uber, I know I'm bringing in between 10 and 12. Because I know approximately my expenses is about £5, £6 an hour, depending on how many hours I do. Do you know what I mean, guys? But that's it, guys. I'm going to crack on with the rest of the day, and I'll see you all later. Sorry I looked a bit rough. Went out to town last night. Got in at like 2:30. Copious amounts of alcohol. So I'm feeling tender. So we're getting a little Chinese now. And yeah, that's it. Chill out for the rest of the day. Right, guys. Catch you all later. As per usual, thanks very much for watching. See you soon.